Hi, my name is Marla. This is going to be a series of videos about my life and about the law of attraction. The story begins, at least the part I'm going to tell, begins in Arizona, where I owned a company. The company was failing after 23 years, and I was having nightmares, night terrors. I was running out of the room because someone was going to kill me in my sleep. So this happened night after night after night. By the way, I'm in Italy right now, and I'm driving to a little village that I want to show you because it's beautiful. And I thought it would be fun to have some interesting video to watch while I talk to you. So I decided to go to an acupuncturist. These night terrors were happening almost every night, and I decided to find out why. There must be something wrong with my brain. I'd never been to an acupuncturist before, so I thought, what the heck, it couldn't do any harm. So I went, and she stuck a bunch of needles in me, and as I was lying on the table, she said, go to your happy place. So I did, and I just imagined a scene from my childhood when I was on a boat in Hawaii. And I expanded on the scene by having dolphins show up and a whale show up. And I remember feeling just overwhelmed with happiness, with contentment, with joy, that I started to cry. And I found out later on that crying from happiness is because your energy moves very quickly in an upward direction. It makes you cry. Also, when it moves quickly in the downward direction, makes you cry. Anyway, I was so struck with the feeling of happiness that I thought, one, I've never felt this way before. I didn't know I could feel so happy. And two, I didn't know I was feeling so bad, because the contrast between the way I'd been feeling 10 minutes earlier and the way I was feeling then was so dramatic. I didn't realize I had become acclimated to feeling kind of yucky. So that started the whole journey of my realization that I could manage how I feel. I can create my own happiness. Well, what I found out even more is not only can I create my own happiness by what I focus on, what happens is my entire world around me changes because of my change in perspective, because you create your own reality based upon what you focus on. So I launched into a scientific research into the law of attraction to find out what it is and why it works. And as I was doing that, it was making me more and more excited, more and more thrilled about the very idea of being able to create my own reality. And the fact is, I could look back on my life and explain everything that had happened to me by the laws of the universe. I could see, well, that happened to me. How was I feeling just before that happened to me? Well, I was feeling like this. So that's what became of it. That's what manifested because of the way I'd been feeling before. So it became more and more clear to me how the law of attraction works. It works all the time. Whether you understand it or not, whether you use it on purpose or not, it's working all the time. Your life, you are creating your own life. Everything in it. And so I spent after my businesses collapsed, I spent 5 years just writing books about the law of attraction, and there's a lot of detail I'll fill in later about what happened in the interim. But I just became more and more steadily happy, even while doing nothing, even while sitting at home, accomplishing nothing. At least to the outside viewer, I was accomplishing nothing. To me and to my own universe, I was accomplishing tremendous amounts just by focusing in the way that I was and am. So, cut to 5 years later, my marriage was ending. and I decided I wanted to go somewhere on vacation. I just wanted to get out of Arizona for a while and just be by myself for a while. So I was talking to a friend on the phone, just having a conversation. It wasn't really even about going on vacation. I was just talking and saying, oh, I could live anywhere because I've lived all over the world as a military kid. I said, but my favorite environments are to live in a place where I can walk everywhere, to live in a place where I can be near horses, to live near a forest, to live near an ocean, to speak a foreign language would be great. I love foreign languages, and I had a long list of things that I would be enjoyable to me. So a little bit later, possibly even the same day, I was Googling something randomly on the interwebs and came across the words working vacation. And I didn't know what that was. So I clicked on the link and it led me to a hotel in Tuscany. And the hotel was offering jobs, work for room and board sort of job with horses at the hotel. So I thought, oh my gosh, that is right up my alley. I'm a horse person. And so I immediately wrote an email and applied to work there, thinking I could have a 2-month vacation. That just thrilled me to death, even just thinking about that. So they emailed me back and said, no, sorry, we cannot employ you in this way because we can only have students in this job. So I decided to go anyway. Everything about the hotel looked wonderful, and I just thought, well, I'll just go and see what happens. So 2 weeks later, I'm on an airplane. Oh, by the way, when I was doing this, I didn't have a dime to my name. Nothing. I hadn't worked for 5 years, didn't have any money. And just before I found that, just before I got the return email from the hotel, my husband handed me $6,000 as a sort of down payment on our divorce. And I thought, okay, well, that's it. That's enough for me to go on vacation. So I went. 2 weeks later, I'm on an airplane. I land in Pisa and take a train to this little village where this hotel is that I found on the interwebs. And the day I got there, I met the hotel owners, and they told me that the woman who owned the who managed the stable down the road had broken her arm, and could I please manage the stable? And I said, well, yeah, I can do that. That's exactly what I wanted to do. So I got a job the day I arrived in Italy. So, and the job entailed working with horses, mucking out the barn, and speaking a foreign language, because they needed someone to speak German to teach riding lessons. So, here I am in Italy, teaching riding lessons. Oh, and also, I'm living in a hotel. That was one of the things on my list. I love the idea of living in a hotel because of being able to meet lots of new people all the time. So, living in a hotel, walking down to the village, speaking a foreign language, working with horses. The hotel is in a forest, 40 minutes from the beach. And there's a chef cooking for me every day. And that was another thing on my list. I love to have people cook for me because I don't cook. And so I've got everything that I had been talking about on my list. 2 weeks later, I've got everything. So I decide. So 2 weeks after doing that for a couple of weeks, I started talking to I was talking to the owners of the hotel, and I'm stopped at a red light. And they said, "What do you want to do?" Because the season had ended and there was no more teaching to do at that stable. And I said, I don't know. I'm just having a great time, and I could go home. I could stay here. I could whatever. But by the way, I've been talking to your clients, to your hotel guests every evening on the balcony of this gorgeous hotel, and I noticed that you could probably be making a lot more money if you offer excursions by car. So the owners said, yes, that is a great idea. And not only that, let's start a company together and we'll make a business of offering excursions by car to not only this hotel, but to other hotels in the area. So I've been in Italy 2 weeks, and now I'm going to become president of my own company in Italy. So this is kind of a snapshot of how my life plays itself out because of the way that I use law of attraction to my own benefit, and which is far, far simpler than you can imagine, and that anyone can do, and actually everyone does to some degree, to a great degree, create positively in their own lives by simply appreciating what's around them. So in subsequent videos, I will explain a lot more details about how focus works and about how you create your own reality. And I look forward to the next installment. Thank you for joining me. Bye-bye.